Hi, I'm John and welcome back to my Lair of Action Figures. So today I'm going to be releasing another video regarding the new releases of Hot Toys and the Star Wars universe. Of course, if you watch my other videos, I did already publish this and saying a force of collectibles awaits coming soon. Well, Hot Toys hasn't disappointed, because the first one we got released was, of course, Mandalorian with Grogu. Then we got a one scale Grogu. Then we got these two guys in one scale. Still missing those. I guess those are going to be coming. Then we got the ATRT robot over here, or Walker, and then we got also the ATRT driver. Then of course today we got the Snowtrooper, got the regular Stormtrooper. The only one missing now is this one, and of course Hot Toys has announced us with an exclusive. How can we say it? Oh, maybe one of the laziest exclusive that has been done, but I must say that I am feeling extremely confident about something that I had already announced back a long time ago regarding, of course, Hasbro being a very big influence on Hot Toys, because it looks like Hot Toys is copying a bit Hasbro, and this is good news for us collectors. So, without further ado, let's jump into what was revealed today. So, of course, everybody was waiting for the Imperial Stormtrooper. So, of course, the Snowtrooper has arrived. Now, of course, if you watch the trailer, you will notice that they had this kind of mask figure over here instead of having this white over it, this kind of cloak over it. And this does remind me of the Macquarie drawings for the first Stormtroopers. If you've been following Star Wars for a long time, you will know the concept art. And Hasbro also released some of the 3¾ inch figures with the design of the Macquarie design. So yeah, this one does give me a bit the vibe over here, and of course it's a Remnant Snowtrooper, who explains why he has a bit of scratches all over the place. Now we got a new rifle, or kind of said with an extra detail over here with a red scope on it, and this one looks not too bad. Now, of course, the fluffiness of this is something that is a bit worrying me, because the ones on Sideshow hold pretty well, and I've had them for many years. Now the question is, I need to test the ones from Hot Toys. So of course you're going to be recognizing some of the pictures, and when I did the RT80 review of my thoughts about it, well, I was talking, well, where's the mouse droid? Well, now we have an answer. These are the guys driving it around with a remote control. So this is a nice little accessory. I like the fact that we're getting some extra guns with it. And over here we have, of course, the Snowtrooper. And over here, when I'm looking at the this part of the figure, this does worry me a bit to be looking very thin and seems to be moving in a not natural way. You're going to see it in the next pictures. Of course, close-up of the MG34 with a red scope on it. So yeah, the weapon is nothing new. As you can see, there's a lot of improved weathering going around, different colors, some rust. I really do like the effect on it. Now, of course, let's see when it comes out. Of course, you can see the rest of the armor does have also some dirt and some scratches. Yeah, that's the problem when the Emperor's not here to give you the money. Now, as you can see, the way that this falls over here feels extremely weird, and not only that, the fabric looks to be, or the plastic seems to be extremely thin, so I'm kind of wondering how this is going to age. So continuing, we're getting again the snow base, or the sand base that they already have done, but again, no footprints on it, which is a bit of a shame. I would have, like I said, on the reviews, and you'll be checking them out later on, have plenty of reviews coming up, and the fact that there's no, how do you call it, footprints makes it very little realistic, because the guy didn't drop there and didn't sink into the snow. So yes, it is pretty cool seeing the figure itself. Of course, you figured out that there's going to be 2 helmets who are going to be given. So we're going to have a look at that also afterwards when we come to the end of this Snowtrooper. So here's a bit of a close-up of the mouse droid, who seems to have gone a bit off-road, and of course the fact of getting the remote control is a nice little touch to it, or it could be used as a radio. Reminds me the one that come with Han Solo, or also some other figures like Alia Sakura has also a system like this. So yeah, it's not totally the same, but it does work in the same way. So of course here we have the nice pictures of the different rifles over here. I'm really happy seeing this rifle over here, because this one reminds me a lot the one I had as a kid with the ones from Kenner or the Palitoys for when I was back in those days a long time ago in not a galaxy far away. But those rifles are pretty cool, and I'm happy that they are there. So, of course, this is what I was talking about, the interchangeable helmets. Again, I'm surprised that Hot Toys didn't want to go with a dual box and say, well, hey, you know, you can buy this as a double box set like they did. And going to be seeing my review popping up very shortly about A New Hope, where you got a regular Stormtrooper and a double box Stormtrooper, and that would have been nice to be able to have both versions in one box, maybe with one or two extra accessories. That would have been pretty nice to be done. So yeah, as you can see, the figure does come, and it does kind of call you to army build it. Now the question is, what's going to be the price? Is this going to be a 240, 260 figure? I don't know. Sideshow has not published any information. Now looking at the hands, basically what we already got with the Snowtrooper Commander that they did as an exclusive, or even, I guess, I haven't opened them or haven't reviewed them, but these hands must be basically the same ones that we already got with the Snowtroopers that Hot Toys made. So nothing really new under the sun, if we can say it like that. So I would have appreciated maybe some pointy fingers in the same way that Sideshow did, but again, well, sadly, that's not there. Now, coming to the Imperial Remnant Stormtrooper, as you can see on the picture, now as you can see, there's a part missing, and because they did two versions of this guy also. So, as you can see, the armor has some weathering. There's some kind of new fabric underneath to give it this more caoutchoucy look of the uniform there. Now this is always a problem when some kind of new material comes out. The question always comes, will it last over time? So of course we can admire the nice weathering on the figure, and of course the use. As you can see, you can really see the lenses are green compared to some of the other ones, and you can really see the fabric underneath is really different than what we got right to now. So again, this is something that needs to be test run and see if it's going to last and hopefully not fall apart, because let's say Hot Toys does have a sadly a bad standard of letting this kind of issues happen. Also, another part here who's very interesting is they seem to have changed the attachers for the Stormtrooper armor. So I guess it's going to be like the other ones. They're going to say, well, you know, you can't remove it. And you can see over here there's an elastic, so this hasn't changed. So of course, yes, it is a Stormtrooper. Yes, it looks nice, and if you want some more dirty versions of the Stormtroopers, this is a perfect addition to your collection. Of course, if you didn't army build them before with the Mandalorian when they did those Stormtroopers, but again, it is basically the same as what we got. Like I said, the uniform, but I haven't opened the ones from the Mandalorian, so I don't know if this is new or not, but the ones that I have from A New Hope that I'm be publishing the reviews shortly, well, did not have this kind of fabric. So of course, let's have a look closely. Finely crafted armor with weathering effect. Well, again, nothing new under the sun because you already did these guys, so yes, and nothing new over here. Now, the belt does seem a little bit different, does not seem to have any strap over there, so be interesting to see how that fits on. And of course, this is everything that you get. So the base plate, I do like those over here. There's a lot of weathering going on this one, so that's cool. And as you can see, the belt looks really different compared to the ones that were done before. So, of course, we are going to be continuing, and they did the deluxe version of the Stormtrooper. So here is our deluxe Stormtrooper. Again, some questions coming up. What is the pauldron made of? Is this some kind of fake leather, or did they change? Again, I do have a few leftovers from Sideshow because I got some extra parts shipped to me because there was missing pauldrons in some of the figures that I got, and they sent me a lot more than what I needed. So it was one time it didn't happen, and I think the person who bought it at the end said, well, it was in the box, and well, anyway, the replacement parts were already on the way, so I did not have the problem. And when I looked in the box, of course, without opening it, I didn't see them. So I said to Sideshow, hey, it looks like I have some missing parts in the boxes. And in reality, it was hidden behind, and you couldn't see it when you were looking through the blister box part. So as you can see, we get some kind of new rifle with a weird charger underneath here. Of course, I'm always interested in seeing new weapons in Star Wars. I don't have an issue with that. Of course, it does feel weird that we haven't seen them in any of the previous movies or even in the TV shows. But again, I guess the remnants have to pick up and cannot be really picky about the weapons they use. So, of course, we're going to have a lot of reused bits. So we have the Lewis gun. So this one was already available with the Snowtrooper. From the New Hope has this one. The pouches over here are nothing new. Of course, it's also hung by an elastic. And, of course, there's not the little extra pouch, who's a good thing. When you see the review, you will understand why. So, whoops, did I go a bit fast? So here is another picture of the Stormtroopers put over here, and you will notice over here that we have an interesting little part over here, and that's not the only one. So, continuing, as you can see, showing off the different postures. So if you recognize from the picture at the beginning, you're going to see that this is basically the pose that they're giving, and they're doing the deluxe version over here. And as you can see, there's a little replacement part over here. Do something that I do like a lot. So here's a little pose with him covering up his arm so we don't see that little extra part, but that's not the only one. And here you can see they have problems and they need to get some different parts who are not completely white. So this is something that I find very interesting, and I find these parts, bits and pieces like this, put together like this and like this, would go very well with the Stormtroopers that Grand Admiral Thrawn has in his Star Destroyer coming back from his exile. So this would make sense because he was really cut off and had to mend and fix and repaint a lot of the armor. So this is something of interesting, and we haven't seen right to now. So here's another picture where we can see the armband over here, and of course the protection of the front part of the leg. So here is the stand. Again, basically there's a few extra accessories, but it's basically the same Stormtrooper that you get. So here are the extra parts that you get for the deluxe version. Now the question is, how much is this going to cost? Is this going to be $10, $15, $20 extra? Let's say $5 an accessory seems not too steep as a price, but again, this is something that will depend. So here is the 4 display modes that we are getting with the exclusive figure. Again, I think there's a missed opportunity where Hot Toys could have given us the regular figure and a deluxe box for 2 Stormtroopers with this kind of gear and accessories. Sorry for the people who wanted the accessories, but I think this makes sense to have a double pack and push you, because if you have 4 display modes, this is definitely Hot Toys telling you, oh look, you can army build this figure. So yes, please give us all your money or your hard-earned cash. So continuing with the two different versions of the rifle, the only one who's new is this one. This one is a reuse from the Stormtrooper. And of course, here is everything that you have. Well, forgot about the weapon, so yeah, that could be easily a $30, if not more, for the exclusive bits and pieces who are over here, due to the fact that you have all the parts of the regular Stormtrooper, and then you have all the extra. I really think that it's a bit of a shame that Hot Toys didn't decide to do a double box with one Stormtrooper with the bits and pieces and kind of a more cleaner version like you have over here. A bit of a missed opportunity. Now let's go on to the laziest exclusive ever made by Hot Toys. Ta-da! I'm giving you Grand Admiral Thrawn with Imperial armor. Now, before going any further, there is something that I did talk about previously where Hot Toys is copying a bit Hasbro like they did for the duel on Mustafa. We got an Obi-Wan who has some battle damage, and then we have also Anakin again who came out, so you can reproduce the battle scene with the high ground. And before we get to the high ground, this was the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. I did a review for that set, and as you can see, they seem to be going a bit in the same way. But the reason I was talking about it, I was hoping that we will get General Veers, and I was already talking about it when I did the review of the Stormtrooper Commander, the Snowtrooper Commander, I mean. So yeah, and this is why I'm kind of saying it's lazy, because it's just a reuse of the previous Admiral Thrawn minus a few accessories, but we get the armor and the helmet. So, of course, this is from Clone Wars, not Clone Wars, Rebel cartoon, when they go onto the planet and there's the Bendu, this creature who's no light side or dark side, and of course, this is where this creature, they kind of blow him up, and he tells them that he sees this fall with kind of the space whales, so it's a prediction of what's going to happen, and also a way to explain why did this guy never appear in the original trilogy. So, of course, as you can see, the armor, the helmet, and the goggles are definitely something that they can use to make General Veers. Painting it in grey, not going to be hard. We're moving some of the Grand Admiral decorations over here, or the part of saying he is a Grand Admiral, does make sense. As you can see, this is a really, really good news. So, also another part of good news, if you missed the Grand Admiral Thrawn from Ahsoka, you can pick this one up. As you can see, the belt. Now this, I don't know how was it on the original one. I didn't pick it up. I have the Sideshow one who came back way in the days. Now I really regret not buying the Thrawn with his throne or his Admiral chair. And now this is something that will come back to bite me, because I guess this figure in that seat would make a lot of sense. Now, when I'm looking at the belt, I'm starting to worry, because this looks extremely shiny, and I'm wondering if this is pleather or real leather. And that's going to be a big issue if it's real leather. Not really. If it's pleather, well, we know what happens to that. It's going to peel. So here's a close-up, of course, of Admiral Thrawn with his armor. And of course, the helmet looks pretty neat, and I'm really looking forward to it. Now, the question is, are they going to charge an arm and a leg like they did with Jyn Erso's father? Because that one was a bit expensive at $385, and I don't know if they're going to go that route. But I guess it's going to be on Sideshow's website as a RSVP. So more about it coming later. Then, of course, we have the stand, who's the basics, with, of course, him wearing his regular uniform. So yeah, I do like this figure, and like I said, I missed out on Grand Admiral Thrawn. I was hesitating to pick him up, and suddenly he went on to waitlist. I'm on waitlist. But if I can get this one, I'm going to remove the one that I have on waitlist, due to the fact that I prefer this version, due to the fact that you have a 2-in-1 figure, because you have the armor and without the armor, so that does look pretty neat. I do like this kind of pose. This reminds me a bit some of the drawings from the book that came back, Higher to the Empire, what should have been episodes 7 and 8. 9. So yeah, this is something that I'm looking forward. It has a hologram projection over here, who's pretty neat. And of course, we have the separate rolling eyeballs. Nothing new again. This is basically a remake of the previous figure. So of course, 2 different style displays. So again, this must be very simple to put on, remove, and the helmet is the same about it. And like I said, this is really some good news. And for the people who have it, I'd be kind of curious in the comment section, because when I'm seeing how this seems to be stretched with his pistol in the holster, this does worry me that if this is fake leather, this is going to really start peeling, because it looks to be an extremely tight fit. So of course, here is everything that you get with the Grand Admiral. So of course, you do not get some of the displays that you got with the previous ones. I will have to check, but I guess the hands must be the same. We have the glove version and not the glove version of it. So that's going to be something to be seen. But again, do you really need this kind of star map? I think it is, with the Imperial Star Destroyer on it, and I think he has an extra tablet. Over here we have a holo projector with the Emperor, and of course I believe this must be Ezra Bridger, because it would make sense, or it could be somebody else, but it's really hard to say. But I think, if I remember well the episode, I guess it must be Ezra who's over here. But again, really loving this figure. Hope it's not going to be $385. And yes, I'm going to pre-order this one. Now, regarding the other figures, am I going to pick them up or not? Well, I'm a bit hesitant. The reason why about it, I'm thinking that Hot Toys may be bidding on the wrong horse. I can see where I'm coming from with this, and I'm going to explain you. The reason why is the Mandalorian and Grogu movie does not seem to be trending that much. It's not being pushed out there. There's some numbers of opening weekend seems to be even lower than Solo, and I don't see this movie going to join the billion-dollar club, or close to the billion-dollar club of the Star Wars movies. So of course, we had the Force Awakens and some of the other ones. The question is, will it perform well or not? And that's where I have high doubts about it. And the thing is, if the movie doesn't perform well, that's not good for the Star Wars franchise, and of course it's not going to be good for the sales of the figure, and may kind of play down, and maybe we'll have to wait and see. But there's high chances that a lot of those products might stay a long time on Sideshow's website. So again, I don't know if Sideshow is going to have a few extra after pre-order deadline finishes, and then it's gone, or they're going to say, well, let's bid also like Hot Toys is doing on the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, and it's going to do well. And of course, we're going to sell a boatload of collectibles because of that. So that's where the big issue has, and this is why I'm not in a hurry pre-ordering the other ones. This one is a bit different, exclusive. I have a tendency of disappearing extremely fast and then going up for very expensive on the secondary market. So let me know, are you planning to pre-order any of these? Are you going for the Grand Admiral? Do you have the first Grand Admiral? So you can let me know about the belt and the holster for his pistol, and maybe also his boot, but the boot do look a bit plasticky, so I don't know, that would have need to be seen. But let me know in the comment section, and let's start a conversation about our favorite hobby. So that's going to be it for my thoughts about the new Hot Toy figures from the Star Wars franchise, Mandalorian Grogu movie. If you like this kind of videos, please leave a like, share, comment in the section. If you have any suggestions, let me know also in the comment section. If you want to pre-order these figures whenever they come out, you can use my affiliated link in the description of the video. It helps out the channel, and I thank you very much if you use it for pre-ordering any product or ordering any product from Sideshow Collectible. Of course, you can also go and check out my Facebook page, Instagram page. I have some pictures, news, especially on the Facebook page, items for sale, and also archives for you to go and check out. So go and check out the page. It's really worth it. There's a lot of stuff to go around. Until then, I hope you have a fantastic day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!